Hi guys, it's me Karen, and I've come to do a picture in Seasons by Hanna Karlzon. And we're going to do a autumn winds picture here. I'm going to be doing the background in metallic, or it's the folk art matte black paint. So it's an acrylic paint. And I'm just going to take it to this line and out, paint all this outside of the circle area in the black. And I'll probably bring in Neocolors into the center. So we're going to kind of do a mixed media page, I guess that's what you call this, since we're using acrylics and the Neocolor 2s, and then we'll color in with pencils and gel pens and stickles. So I'm going to start with these paint here, and we're just going to undo the top. I don't know about you guys, but I'm always having trouble getting it out from that little bit. And I'll put some of this down on my sheet here, if I can get it out of the tube. I don't. Hold on a minute. Okay, I've got it out on a little plastic sheet. So we've got our black here. I've got my favorite paintbrush, and it's just a black velvet silver number 4. So it's got a nice tip on it to get into the tiny little areas that I need to get into. And it's a really nice paintbrush. So that's the one I use. So we just take a little dab of this. I don't know if I can get that in the screen too. So I just dab it off. And then we just go in very gently and start painting in everything. And it's okay if you go over the lines a little bit. No big deal. Pencils will go over this matte paint. So if I get into the lines here and I want to color over that, I definitely can. It's one of the nice things about matte acrylic paint. So I know you're probably not going to want to watch me paint the whole kit and caboodle here, especially since this is a lot of work and will probably take me, because I don't use a big brush to do this, it'll probably take me 45 minutes just to paint this little bit. So I'll just show you a little bit of it. I have watered down the paint before, but I want a solid black background here. So I'm going to leave it just thick paint here. It will not warp this page because it is nice and thick paper. Hanna Karlzon has got really nice paper in her books. Okay, so basically that's all I'm going to do is take it all the way up to the edge there and go around the whole page. When I get down towards the bottom down here, you see some of these falling leaves or petals or whatever they are. I'm basically going to probably go right over those. We'll go in, paint here, and then I'll just paint over those guys. If I want to put them back in, I can just color them back in, but I don't know, they're just easier to paint over than paint around them, because I'm going to be doing a lot of painting around everywhere else. And I have to try to remember. I know there'll be one spot that I will forget. So I'll have to double check it when I get done with doing this, just to make sure I didn't leave an area that's supposed to be black unpainted. I can always go in with it, like I have in the past with a Pitt pen or a black pencil. Once I wash my paintbrush, I'm done painting, so. Anyway, you get the gist here. So what I'll do is turn off the camera and go ahead and finish the painting off camera, and then we'll be back to do the center. Or I might do some coloring first and then do the center. I'm not sure. But basically the all outside of this circle is going to be done in black. So I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, here we are, all done with all the black painting. I did have a piece of paper behind here so I could go over the edges and get it all done. So basically that's what it looks like, and that's, like I said, it lays pretty darn flat, which is wonderful for this book. And now I'm going to get the Neocolors out and kind of do a fade up, so darker down here and lighter up here, kind of in the same fall colors that I did on this page. So it would be the dark reds, orange, and lights. It's the lightest color up here and the darkest down here. So I'm going to get those out and we will color those on and activate them. Okay, I have my colors out, and we have the light yellow, a peach. I don't think I have these in the right order. And then it goes saffron. And then we have the crimson Alizarin, or Zarian hue, which is the beautiful red. The saffron is gorgeous, by the way. And then a little bit of brown to make it the darkest down at the bottom. So I'm going to kind of do dark red, a little bit of the orange coming up on this side, and kind of have the lighter colors around the bottle. The leaves here are going to be done in the autumn reds, basically the same color line as this, so I want kind of a lighter color over here. And then I guess it could be darker over here too, so maybe we'll just do it opposite and do the browns, reds coming this way, and leave it kind of more muted at the top up here. Or I may just splatter it all over the place and just do some different colors. I don't know. With these, they're just fun to use. Easy to use. They make a great background. But I do know I want it light over here, so I'm going to go kind of in with the, this is the pale yellow, and we just kind of scribble it wherever you want it. And that is one of the funnest things about these. You scribble. Gotta get to scribble. You don't have to be too exact where you want all of your color down, because you're adding water to it and they blend really well with each other. I kind of like to use the side instead of the point. Yeah, it's just me though. I mean, it's because it goes down a little softer. Then we're going to take some of the orange in here, the saffron, and we're going to add that in there too. I think that's as dark as I want to get on this side because of those leaves, but we do want some of it in there. Okay. We have some berries here too. I don't know what color to do those yet, so we'll see. So we have oranges over here. We're going to stick some of that on this side too. Around these mushrooms a little bit. We're going to come in with the crimson Alizarin Really pretty red. I want that down here. And maybe a touch over on this side. Just on the edges. Okay, then we're going to bring in some of the brown, and this is the burnt sienna. And we're just going to lay it on top of and around this area. If you don't have the Neocolor tools, you can do this with pastels, distress ink, chalk ink if you have chalk ink. Won't bleed through your paper either. It's just about these for myself, so I thought I would have fun with them for a while. Okay, isn't that gorgeous? We're gonna get a water pen. A little rag to do some wiping off with, make sure we have enough water. And we're going to start activating. And I'm going to start with the light pale yellow and bring it out a little bit. And it's okay if you go over the tiny little lines. Pencil will go over this as long as it's thin on those pieces. You can use your finger to wipe it off too if you want. And if you get it inside, you can do the same thing. Okay, bring some of that color up in here. So grab some of that saffron, make sure it's activated nicely, and bring it up into the yellow. Blend it in there. Depends on how wet your brush is, how much you're going to bring up with your fingers. So I said, if you get it in there, it's okay. Just wipe it down. Okay, we'll get down in here and activate this color. And bring it on up too. I hope you can see all that. Sorry if I get off focus or out of screen. I cannot tell what that camera is doing up there. I can only see what is down here that I'm doing, and I try to remember to keep it, but sometimes I forget, so I apologize. Just going to go around this side now. Activate it around the bottle first. Get rid of some of those lines. More water on the brush. Another nice thing about the Neocolors is you can reactivate them and move them around a little bit. They haven't dried completely. Don't want it on the leaf, bring it out. We're just going to work around and get it all activated and see how it looks. So I hope you're all doing well. My week's going better than the last couple of weeks, so it's always nice. Our weather has changed, and they've decided we're gonna get rain and rain and rain. It's gonna be doing that for probably till spring. It's one of the nice things about living in the Pacific Northwest. We get a lot of rain. It's also kind of a downfall if you don't like rain, but it keeps our country around here nice and green. This is a little dark for me, so I'm just gonna brush it back into the other area there a little bit. Okay, I gotta turn the book because I want to work going outward here. Bring this and into here a little more. And I'm gonna just go down in here. A little more on this side. Alright, that's alright. Turn back around. Trying to make it not look so edgy there. Alright. Gonna take a little more of the brown, and I just go on the back of here. Take it up on my brush, and I'm going to darken up some of these areas down here with the brown. The reason I'm using the back side to get the water off is so I don't mess with the point if I needed it to get into something. And I'm going to add a little bit more of the reddish tone that we have here. I'll leave all the colors down in the description box. But I want a little more of the red in here too. Probably a little bit more of the saffron because I love this color. It's just a cool color. Okay, well, that looks pretty good. We're going to let that dry, and then we'll be back. All right, we're going to all dry here, so we're going to go ahead and work on these leaves here. And the first thing I want to do is bring in a little bit of veining on the leaf. It has these big veins, but it doesn't have any little veins. I'd like to add a few in, so I just grabbed a Prismacolor Premier fine line marker, and I'm gonna hope this works because my other ones don't have very much ink in them. I'm just gonna bring out some veins here, kind of go, where the other ones kind of connect. I'm just gonna bring in a few of these, just because when I'm doing my coloring, I kind of want to know where these might be. Okay, so here we go. Just going around and adding them in. And we'll really add one from there. We'll add it here. Okay, so basically just like that. Add them in. You can make them a little darker, just so they're there. You can skip this step if you don't want to do that. I just think it adds a little something to the leaf, so I like to add them in. So I'm just going to do these two leaves here. The rest of them I think they're fine. We're going to lay a base coat down on this, and it's going to be with the yellow ochre. Yellow ochre is very close to the colors that are out here. So we're just going to bring it in, kind of in the ribbed areas of this leaf. And like I said, it's kind of a base color. So we're going to do these as fall leaves. Of course, it's autumn winds, so the whole picture is going to be done in the autumn colors. Okay, so we'll just do both of these at the same time. Now I'm going to use the overspill that I have gotten on these with the Neocolors as kind of shading spots, and it's going to give me where I want the most reddish tones. That'll look cool. Okay, so we can go over these veins too because they're going to get color. You don't have to be too picky about it. I'm going to bring in moss green and put in some green. The leaves are starting to change in the autumn wind, so they're still going to have some green in them. So we're just going to pick some spots and put in some green. You want to kind of go darker on the tips and then bring it down into the leaf really lightly. And just pick a couple spots. Like that would be nice green, and maybe this little area over here. And on this one, maybe we'll take this leaf here, or this section of this leaf. Yeah, maybe up here. This little spot down on this side. Okay, so we have some green in there. It doesn't have to be too much. And if you don't want it to have green in it, you know, Mother Nature has its way of putting different tones down. So make your fall leaves any way that makes you happy. Just the way I like to do them. I'm going to put in some Tuscan Red here. And we're going to go dark up here at the tip. And see how that takes that little boo-boo I had here right out of the equation. So bring that down in here. Kind of darken the stem up here. Blend it right into that green. Leaving it nice and light. Put the most pressure at the tip and then just lighten it as you come down. Okay. We'll figure another couple spots here. We'll go in this one. And then we'll take it on this side, on this leaf. Go pretty heavy on the tip and then just bring it lightly down into the leaf. This is the same way I did the leaves on the other page, same colors. Except these leaves are just a tiny bit different. And we'll put some over here on this side too. Okay, we're going to bring in some mineral orange. We're going to go right over that red that we put in. Bring that down. And get it in the green also. And if you want, you can use that to shadow in any of these areas that you may have not gotten enough of the Neocolor. This works really good with the saffron, the brown mix that we made down here. Anyway, get back to our little leaves here. Bring in the mineral orange down here. On this side. Get it right up there in the green so you can blend it too. And we'll do this tip up here in the mineral orange and bring it down. Kind of get some color in these little stems here. Okay, I'm going to bring in some back with the yellow ochre. Bring that color down. Go nicely with the green. Just kind of blending over everything. This one here too. Okay, we're going to bring in some brighter yellows. So we're going to bring in a sunburst yellow, which is kind of a orangish yellow. We're going to bring that in towards the stem area. Going over all the colors that we have here. Just brightens everything up. Anywhere you want just a little bit more oomph in the color. Okay. We can bring in a little canary, which will brighten it up a little bit more. Going over all the colors again. And just make sure you get everything covered. I have this paper in here. I'm going to remove it. I'm getting a little dent in the coloring there. We'll be going over all these colors again, so if you miss a little spot here or there, it's okay. Okay, let's get a duster here. All right, I'm just going to go around now and deepen the ends of these leaves, so just putting a little more pressure on it, kind of bringing them in the creases down into some areas, like to where the vein comes up, where this line comes down, and we're just going to darken those up a little bit, and that goes on this side too. Just bring that down dark. We're also going to bring in some black for this. I know it's going to kind of take away from that shading, but Deepen that up. Follow the line that's coming down into the leaf. You can go over the yellow orange that we put down here, because with this it'll just make it a darker orange, which is pretty. Just kind of deepening all those colors up. Okay, we're going to go back in with, this is the mineral orange. Same areas, and we're darkening those up with the mineral orange that comes down. It's kind of blending it in. We're putting on pretty heavy pressure here just to get it nice and dark on the edges, and then lightening our pressure up as we go down. Bring some of that up over on the other side and into the green, but we're going to bring the green in and darken it up too. Okay, both leaves. We can darken up the thicker stems that go up here also. Basically, we're just playing with the color until we like the pattern we've gotten. We want it kind of dark, but not too dark. I'm going to bring in some yellow ochre, and we're just going to blend that orange in just a little bit better. That's why we put down all the base coats too, so they'll just blend in really nice. I have to bring in the green there, so I'm going to be a little careful. Okay, we're going in with the moss green. I'm going to darken that up just on the tips. And we're going to bring in some green ochre, which kind of gives us that golden green color. I'm going to bring that in, go up on the orange, pull it down into the yellow a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to go go back in with the Canary Yellow and add any brightness that you want to add in it. Do it now before we put any more black in here. So we're just going to brighten the leaf up a little in the center. Dust that off. We're going to bring in black now. We're going to go in the tips. On the sharpest point we can get. And we'll bring some of those lines down. Maybe bring it into the veining here. So just kind of going around the edge. Even where it's black on this side, just bring a little of that color in. It just helps define the edges. We'll do that on both leaves. We're going to be bringing veining up now. It's just touching the ones that we already put in. Turning our pencil so it's not a sharp point on the tip, but it's a sharp point on every round corner. So we're just turning it to get those little sharp lines. Bring some down in here. You want to put a hole in the leaf, you can color in a hole in the leaf. All sorts of stuff you can do with these. Okay. Now, if you think anything got a little too black, just come back in with the color that its family is in. So the red up here, just blend the black in a little tiny bit with the red pencil. Any green, you can blend it in with the green. We want to get these stems a little darker, so I'm going to bring in some of that red here. And just darken them up a little bit. Bring in the green again and do the same with the green. Try not to go outside of the lines like I'm doing. Save yourself some cleanup. Okay, I'm going to take some of that green ochre and color in the rest of these stem pieces. And basically that is our leaf. If you want to do any cleanup, you can either do it with like on these tiny edges here, you can come in with a pen and fill those gaps in, or you can use your black paint. Okay, I went over the lines a lot here. I'm just going to bring that line right in to the leaf and add a little more interest to it. On the outside it's a little more different, so I've got to be a little more careful over here. But any lines you can't see real well, just go over them. If you want to make those a little lighter, you can go in with the pen and do that too. Anything you want to do with them to dress them up any. So that's how those are going to be done. I'll let those sit for a little bit, get my hand a little rest, and then we'll come back and do the acorns and some berries. Okay, for the acorns, we're going to do a little Tuscan Red on the sides here. So we're going to go in with that. Just go lightly. It's dark on the edge, a little dark towards the first fourth, and then just real lightly around the rest. I'm going to put this in all of them, so they'll all look the same, hopefully. So dark around that edge, and then just lightly over. And if I look around the whole entire page, it seems to be 4 of these, and that's it. So that's what I'm hoping, at least. Find another one. We'll just have to recolor it in with a little chestnut, which is a browner. Kind of pulling it on that red and out. And into the center more. On all of them. Then we're going to bring in the yellow ochre, and we're going to go from this side over and into all of that. I'm doing that on heavy pressure, so pushing it down quite hard. Just kind of blending that all together. Okay, then we're going to take in a little bit of dark brown. Go on the edge of that towards the bottom and bring it up a little on the other side. So on the edge to the bottom, up the other side. On all of them. Going to bring in a little light umber. Kind of go up a little bit more on the side and kind of very, very lightly bring it in all over. So we're going to leave a little corner up here, the brightest yellow. The rest of it's going to darken right up. Bring in a little sepia and really darken up the bottom of that and up the side, tiny bit underneath these. I'll do something interesting there. And then down at the bottom. Okay. Now what I want to do, and what I'm going to do on this here too, I'll show you that, and then I'm going to have to call this for the first part of the video, and we'll do part 2 a little later. My elbow and hand are hurting today, so I can only get so far in the video. I was working a chair downstairs. We have a club chair that I had to take apart. I recovered a while back, and a couple of the screws needed to be replaced and refixed. So I was doing that yesterday, and my arm's a little tender from that. So this needs to dry anyway, so I figured this would be a good spot to do this in. Now what I'm going to do is there are 3 or 4 rows of acorn top scallops, and I don't want to have that many there. So what I'm going to do is make one of those, or even 2 of these, doesn't really matter. I can do it either way, to make like 2 on the top and a nice little scallop in black. So on this one we have the little top that comes in with the stem, and then we have 1, 2, 3 layers, and these 2 layers I'm going to merge. So I'm just going to take the black, I'm going to come down this side, and then I'm just going to color this one in and give it a cute little black scallop. Kind of go up on here and thicken that up a little bit. Darken it, and then come back down and do it again. On the outside and kind of bring it out a little further. So we have a nice little scallop coming down. On all of those. We're going to darken that line a little bit more. On the one that only has the 2 coming down, because I want 2 on all of them. This one doesn't have 1, and obviously this one doesn't. We're just going to thicken up the bottom line down on this one. So we merged those 2. We want it to kind of look the same, so I'll just bring it down a little further. These don't have to be perfect. You know, drawings for fun. Do the same thing over here. I'm just going to bring it out so you can see it. Color it in. It's a smaller one, so you get the hint. We're going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to clean these up a little bit better when I can see them a little better. This is a very fine line pen. You can do this with the ballpoint after you're all done if you want. They should dry. Anything that doesn't bleed through to the other side. I'm going to add one over here. Just tuck one in there. Okay, now on these, I want these exaggerated a little more, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to bring a little bit of that out and color those in. So that they're thicker. And I'll do that on all of these, coming down. So when I color in these, they'll kind of blend in a little bit better. Okay. And I'll do something similar to that down here. But for now, we're going to let it be. When I come back, I'll just have the top half of this bottle inked out. All these little things here. And I think I'll just color these in black. Maybe I'll arch these up here so those would just be brought up. And these down here I'm going to bring down, so we'll bring those down. And bring those up. Can do that for you. Yeah, I'll just color these in down here black. Should get a bigger pen to do that with, but since I'm here, I'll just do it real quick. Okay, let's see what else we can do. We're going to do these down here dark too, so I might as well. Get that done. And then if I want another one of these little round things, I can just put one in. Just like that. Okay. And the top up here, these will be brought out. And then we'll just do those like that too. Just color those in. Touch them up a little later, and I'll finish those scallops off for you too. And I think that might be dry enough for me to finish off the top of the acorns here. We're going to go in with the dark brown on these. Go a little lighter here. You want them a little browner than the body, so and with that, then go back in with the light umber. And then, of course, the yellow ochre for its highlight. The stem a little bit with that. Okay, going with the sepia. Just on this side. A little of this down. And darken that up. And a tiny bit of the Tuscan Red. And there should be the tops. We're just going to blend all that in together with the yellow ochre. those the way they are. Okay, so in part 2, we'll come back. Oh, I could really quickly show you how I'm going to do the berries. So you guys can do that while I'm taking my break between the episodes here. Let's see, we will go in with the blue. The violet, just hold on, I gotta find the blue one. Okay, so the berries are going to be done in kind of the blue purple tones. We're going to be putting a blue and a purple pinkish fluid inside our little bottle. So we're going to start with the yeah, the names I can't read. Dioxazine purple hue and Indanthrone blue comes in next, cloud blue, to blend them, okay? So we'll go in with the purple hue. We're just going to go around in a little circle, kind of a half circle. And each one of these berries are going to be done like that. So we'll go in with the blue tone here, not closing our circle all the way. And I'm going to sharpen this pencil. I need a bit better point on it. So we just take the cloud blue, start on the outside, and then bring it into our berry, blending all those colors together. And our cloud blue is our highlight. So I'll do a couple of those. I'm going in with the purple. C shape. You could do these red, like currants, or whatever other color you want. I just wanted to bring in some blue, so that's why I am doing them in these colors. The blue tone. And then the cloud blue, starting in the light spot and then bringing it into the other areas. Mixes really well. And that's what our berries will look like. You'll just continue that pattern on all the berries on both sides. So when I come back, the berries will be done. The rest of this bottle part up here will be done, and then we will continue to work on the leaves that are left. We've got some oak leaves, some berry leaves, and I believe these are like sunflower daisy type things, so we'll work on those too, and then start on the bottle. So I will see you all in part 2. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye now.